Now, don't get it twisted. This is going to start out as a pretty optimistic-ish story, but it's going to fall off a cliff very fucking soon. Canada will reopen borders to fully vaccinated Americans starting next month. Well, what does that mean? Well, now we're going to start to get an influx of American travelers who are so desperate to come up here and do nothing because a lot of places are still under regulation, so that's a little bit fucking weird. But then at the same time, this is basically, you know what, just instituting a vaccine passport without instituting a vaccine passport. So, I don't even know if these fucking numbers are going to be accurate. Like, okay, they say that they're going to be opening back up southern border to travel August 9th. It's like, okay, well, as much as I don't give any credence to this fucking Delta variant, because I think it's all stupid and another one's just going to pop up on the fucking horizon anyways, and we're just waiting for another opportunity to hammer us all down with whatever new stupid restrictions, which are the same thing as the old fucking restrictions, so we're not going to be any further ahead, so I don't even know if we're going to get to August 9th with anything fucking meaningfully happening. And especially if you take a round, say, Europe, and you take a look what's happening over there, yeah, I don't see this being as optimistic as it's being reported. Because, yeah, oh yeah, cool, travel's happening once again, but for how long? And if everything's fine, you think, in what, a couple weeks' time, why don't you just do it right now, huh? What's wrong? All your vaccination numbers are up there, right? I'm seeing something like 80% of Canadians that are eligible to get the jab have gotten at least one jab. And half of the people already have both doses. So what the fuck are we doing here? Like, how much better can we get, okay? Canada will allow Americans who are fully vaccinated against COVID-19 to enter the country next month, officials said on July 19th. But don't worry, athletes and important people were able to make that trek for the past year and change. If they were elected officials, like, say, oh, I don't know, Tracy Allard of the Alberta Conservative Party, who's a MLA for Grand Prairie proper, yeah, no, she went to Mexico for Christmas and all she had to do was apologize. I don't think she had the poke, but yeah, no, different class of people, different rules. Don't worry about it. Public Health Agency of Canada said the United States citizens and permanent residents living in the United States who have received the vaccine at least 14 days before trying to cross the border can enter on August 9th. Cool, make sure that you have the jab. Make sure you have both jabs, in fact. Then you can open. Then you can go. Don't worry about it. It's totally fine. A statement from the Gestapo of Canada. Yeah, there's your list of fucking big pharma companies that these idiots will simp for. Entry to Canada will continue to be prohibited for U.S. travelers who are not fully vaccinated and for all other foreign nationals unless they already meet an exemption set out in the orders made under the Quarantine Act. The Canadian government news release said. When's that going to get lifted? Don't know. Probably won't. Not until years have passed. Those who try to cross the border have to provide evidence supporting their vaccination. There you go. There's a vaccine passport without saying it's a vaccine passport because those words incite violence. The government said they'll also have to provide COVID-19 related information electronically through ArriveCan, a government tracking app, including proof of vaccination prior to departing for Canada, meet testing requirements before entering, be COVID-19 asymptomatic, i.e. healthy, and have a digital or paper copy of their vaccination documents. Show me your papers before you get the travel. How fun is this, right? And it's working oh so well across the rest of the world. You don't believe me? Well, it's keeping Irishmen out of the pubs. This is not going to go well. This is not going to go well whatsoever. And it hasn't. I've seen pictures in Belfast of people just lining the streets as the government there have instituted vaccine passports for pubs, nightclubs, basically any place of public gathering. And to try to get between an Irishman and his drink, I don't think that there's a more frightening situation. I'd rather get between a mother bear and her cub. Like I said, Paris in flames as protesters fight new COVID-19 passports and vaccine laws. Protesters in Paris were tear gassed during violent demonstrations against France's new COVID laws, making jabs compulsory for health workers and demanding vaccine passports for bars and restaurants. I might have glossed over that a little too quickly. If you are a healthcare worker, you have to get the jab. Yeah, no, doesn't that make sense, right? It's like, oh, if you're treating these people, you should probably, get it. You should be vaccinated. You know what, that makes sense. But don't open that door. Don't open that door a goddamn crack because it starts out as healthcare workers. Then it quickly evolves into, oh, okay, people delivering supplies. to hospitals because you don't want them bringing in the disease and you don't want them spreading or catching it, okay? And it starts working its way out from there. Slippery slope fallacy. No, that's just how this fucking shit. This is where it went from being 15 days to fucking flatten the curve, guys. Hundreds of cafe owners, hospital workers, and parents, some chanting liberty, liberty, took to the French capital on Bastille Day to rebel against President Macron's controversial plans that were introduced this week to tackle the nation's surging COVID cases. Large crowds were confronted by riot police who fired tear gas to try to disperse the advancing group. Protesters and police kicked the tear gas canisters at each other, and cyclists calmly weaved through the crowd. Some of these protesting set a mechanical digger alight and flipped rubbish containers, while some wore badges that refuted the new measures. No to health passes. Obviously a loose translation. But it's France. They do this all the fucking time, right? But then at the end of the day, the winner is the guy who surrenders last. So whatever. Okay, maybe that's like a EU country, and the EU's pretty fucking off the reservation anyways. It always just seemed likely if there was going to be any one group to suppress an entire populace, it was most likely going to be the EU, right? And Ireland's under their jurisdiction. But, okay, what about a freer nation like that? Nah, don't worry, nobody's safe on this one because fucking Boris, dude. Remember, you're a conservative, right? Yeah, no. Get vaxxed if you want to have fun. Self-isolating Boris says vaccine passports will be needed for nightclubs and mass gatherings by the end of summer, and refuses to scrap test and trace. Even though Boris Johnson, who's gotten the jab, he's gotten both doses of the jab. I think he was sick, in the fall too? And this motherfucker's still self-isolating. What a bitch. What an absolute fucking bitch. Instead of combing your hair with a fucking balloon, switch to a stick of dynamite. Boris Johnson has threatened young people with vaccine passports for nightclubs amid concern over take-up. Yeah, it's not even just dropping them right now. It's like, oh, if the cases continue to go up as we move into fall, like a normal fucking flu season, yeah. And you just take a look at the evidence that we had from last year, and we're still dealing with this shit. Cases during a time when people spend more time inside, guess what? Cases go up. It's fucking weird, right? Boris Johnson tonight urged the public to keep isolating when pinged, and warned young people they face a party ban unless they get jabbed, as he took a coronavirus press briefing from his own house arrest at Chequers. Can't make threats against public officials. The Prime Minister insisted it was still necessary for people to make the sacrifice of quarantine. Why? Just because you say it doesn't mean it's true when they have come in contact with a positive COVID case. Not if you've got... Oh my God. Follow the fucking science. Somebody follow the science. Follow the science, okay? Then what's the point? What's the point of getting the fucking jab, okay? You get the jab? Okay, you get to avoid doing quarantine, okay? What happened to natural immunity? What happened to getting the antibodies yourself, huh? No, none of that. I've said it ad nauseum for the past year, okay? Even before I started the channel. It's not about the virus anymore. It's all about control, and this is exactly what this is. The Prime Minister insisted it was necessary for people to make the sacrifice of the quarantine, but a few small groups of key workers would be allowed to rely on tests instead. Oh, of course, yeah. Rules for thee and not for me, right? Andy laid down a warning to younger generations who have been more resistant to getting jabs, making clear that by the end of September, they will need to prove they have been vaccinated to enter nightclubs and other venues. Even though a couple of weeks ago, he said, oh no, don't worry, there's not going to be any need for a passport. Nobody need to worry about that. Dude, you have like a 200 fucking seat majority and you're letting Labor dictate everything that you're fucking doing. This is despicable. Disgraceful. Some 35% of 18 to 30-year-olds, 3 million people, are unvaccinated. You're worried about 35% of the... 35% of one fucking demographic. The defiant stance came despite Freedom Day being branded Disaster Day by stricken businesses who are demanding the government dump farcical tests and trace rules to stop the country becoming a united pingdom. Or pingedom, sorry. Freedom Day. So fucking retarded. The government took away your ability to earn a living for yourself. They took away everything. And now they have the audacity to call it a Freedom Day when they just allow you to go back out into public. Never forget anybody who does this. Don't forget names. Premier's hold up at his Chequers Sin Buckinghamshire after a comical U-turn yesterday from initially saying that he and Rishi Sunak would dodge quarantine after coming into contact with COVID-struck Sajid Javid. The PM has tested negative for coronavirus so far and is not displaying symptoms, according to number 10. But the lifting of almost all legal restrictions today have been overshadowed by fears of spiking cases, bringing the economy to a grinding halt, as more and more people are doomed to house arrest. Exactly. Oh yeah, you can go back outside, but if you just, run into somebody who had a cough once, you just have to go and fucking sit at home for 2 weeks. When are people gonna have enough, okay? They're taking to the streets. They've taken to the streets in London, all over the fucking country. They're blowing up Paris. Not like it means much. If it's not going to be them, it's going to be the fucking Brotherhood of Sand. And then you got Canada saying, oh yeah, we're going to be opening up the border in August. Sure, don't worry about it. How long before this stuff comes this side, huh? I don't know. I've literally can't even speak. I've just about had enough of all of this fucking shit, okay? Clearly, other people are as well, okay? And as much as I would like to take a trip in mid-August because there's a big meetup of a bunch of really cool people that I'd love to go and see, it's just not in the cards because there's too many fucking restrictions and there's too much shit that you have to do in order to fucking cross the border at this point. I was hoping that there was going to be some very happy news about this, that we're just going to drop the restrictions, but silly me, I know way too much of that stuff and I was just being hopelessly optimistic and it's just not going to happen. We need fewer people like Macron, Johnson, and Trudeau, and we need more people like Representative Byron Donalds. I'm not getting vaccinated because I don't want to. Exactly. He knows the statistics. He knows the numbers. Byron Donalds of Florida says a Biden administration shouldn't pressure people to get vaccinated against COVID-19, and he won't be getting the vaccine because it's his own decision as a free-thinking human being. Exactly. It's your choice. Every time that I ever make this caveat on the channel, I'm always like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I'm not getting it. Fuck off. Nobody can tell me what I can and cannot put into my body, okay? But if you want to, if you think it's best for yourself, go right the fuck ahead. The rest of my immediate family, yeah, they all had the jab, okay? I don't care. I don't think any less of them. I don't think any better of them. That was their decision. Listen, I'm 42 years old and I had COVID-19. I'm not getting vaccinated because I don't want to. Listen, I'm 31 years old. I've had COVID-19. I'm not getting vaccinated because I don't want to. Donald told Fox and Friends. Donald tells an equivalent audience, let's be real, it's fucking cable news, this is my own decision as a free-thinking human being. I don't want to do that. I don't want to get the shot. You have millions of Americans who are like that. Leave us alone. There are millions of people worldwide, probably billions. I don't want to be forced to do anything that they don't want to. But if you want to, go wild. Just don't be pushing it on anybody else, okay? Otherwise, you're going to end up with bombed out cities like the rest of the fucking world has at this point. Oh, man. And that's almost an incidental segue because we got some really bad shit happening in some really bad places. And there's one connecting through line. Yeah, it's Democrats. They do a bad job of governing cities and states. With that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.